I was just filling in for Gotti Schwartz the last two nights on his show, Stay Tuned Now. And I'm about to spend the evening packing up to go home to California. I'm in New York. And I am not going to watch the news tonight. And I say this because I had a couple of like big, good reminders. This is ridiculous. Actually, I'm not going to be able to get out of this jacket unless I put this down. So I'm going to put my mic down. That's silly. Yeah, just like that. That's silly. Here I go, taking off my jacket. Anyway, I'm not going to look at the news tonight because I just sort of want to remind you, we got by as a society without being on top of absolutely every news story at every moment, all the time, for generations and generations, and we were okay. And we had a guest on tonight, Dr. Sue Vamus, who wrote a book about, it's called Practical Optimism, and it's like advice for how to sort of keep a healthy outlook on things. And this week is a real challenge in that way, right? And she said a couple of really interesting things. One is that if you consume too much dark news all the time, and if you casually encounter violence, I was just interviewing somebody from a tech company today who was charting for me the YouTube patterns of an 11-year-old in Kentucky. This was like a sample kid of many, many kids that they watch as they move around on YouTube. And this kid had looked up Transformers, watched some Transformers, then looked up kibbutz, presumably just to like educate himself about what a kibbutz is. And then suddenly violent footage of the attacks, violent footage, right? And then he went back to Transformers. This casual little sojourn, and all of that happened in the amount of time that it would take an adult to like go have a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so casual. And I said, what is it like to casually be exposed to that? And she said, it desensitizes us. It messes with our thermostat when it comes to understanding what is horrible and what is not. And she said we should begin reserving a chunk of the day for news consumption, and the rest of the time we need to reserve for other things. And I've been thinking about that a lot. Obviously, like, you know, I'm in the news business, and in theory, I want you to pay attention to the news all the time. And I believe that people being informed is a really important part of being an informed citizen. It's a really important part of just being part of modern life. But I'm also learning you can't do this all the time. And I've been trying to reserve a little time in my day for joy, for like physical joy, like dancing with my kids or running after a frisbee, something cool like that. And she recommends preserving a big chunk of your morning from the time you wake up for a few hours and then a few hours before you go to bed for no news and just good vibes, good times. And I think that's all good. And finally, I'll just say the reason I was filling in for Gotti is he just had a baby. He and his wife just welcomed a baby boy, Rio, into the world. We got to see pictures of that kid. It was just so nice. It was just like a nice reminder of like, there's some really important stuff. And obviously there's some really hard and difficult stuff happening right now. It's something we're all going to have to grapple with as a society. But just take it easy on yourself. On this Friday, as you go into the weekend, take it easy on yourself. And I hope you can find some joy the way I plan to find some joy this weekend.